are on our way to Ryan's house to go and assess the 69 Charger. See what we've got to do today. We went to about every single auto parts store in the, I don't even know where. Was it Olathe or Olathe?
I don't know.
All right, so we went to about every single auto parts store in Olathe, Kansas. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. Yeah, so Napa had pretty much everything we needed. Everything that we bought online and had shipped out to Ryan's is already there. Some of us are going to start at the back. Hillbilly is going to be doing the clutch himself. He thinks he can pull the tranny, put a clutch in a flywheel, and have the tranny back in an hour and a half flat.
How long does it take me to pull a rear end and put one back in your derby cars?
Derby cars are different.
There's more bolts. It's bigger and awkwarder than a tranny.
Yeah, way more boltier. The clock is going to start ticking as soon as we get there. Hillbilly's got an hour and a half to get that clutch changed. I believe you can do it. So you guys remember Bill? Correct, right? You're Robert, you're Bill.
Bill.
You guys probably remember Bill from when I bought the Charger back in March. And then Robert came out to our shop just a couple of weeks ago. They're gonna be headed up and getting us some tires. BF Goodrich radial TAs. We're excited for their help.
Now, when I was younger, I used to pull them transmissions out, lay it on my belly, roll it right onto the ground. I never used the floor jack.
That's how I used to do it until I got spoiled and started working for Robby and have all those fancy tools. I'd bench press them up in, use my hands and knees. We gotta change batteries out because this one's out of Ryan's semi. He needs a semi.
Go figure.
So we went and bought an Optima. That's what we're gonna run with. Let me get the heaviest one.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Is that
We're good.
Okay, we'll fill up our bowl here.
Some more?
More gas, more gas. Cool. Kind of like the syringe deal.
So what we got to do now that we've got the car inside the shop is we're going to get it on the hoist. We're going to hurry and pull the driveline out. We're starting that timer on Mr. Hillbilly because I just don't believe he's going to do this in an hour
We
and a half.
start the time with him pulling the drive shaft out, or we got to pull it out?
No, we'll
Drive
get
shaft is on you guys.
We'll get the drive shaft.
Yeah.
I'll get the drive shaft out because I know that's the hardest part.
It's part of the third member.
I'll go ahead and
buddy.
do that. Then the timer's on.
Bring it.
It's brought in. Let's go right in front of the leaf spring mount, Ernie, right on that frame.
Yeah.
Let's get the hoist going up and let's see where we're at. I'm looking good, like I should. My front's perfect, go up.
That's good.
Set it down on the lock. Got a few cobwebs. Geez, Bill, couldn't you at least clean the cobwebs off?
Nope. As is. They come with it.
So I think what we need to do is you start on the tranny, you start on the rear end. I'm gonna run with Brian into town. We're gonna get some U-joints and a few odds and ends that we weren't able to find. I'm gonna send Robert and Bill up to Discount Tire to get those BFG radial TAs. Hillbilly, in theory, should have the tranny completely done before I get back. We'll see.
I got this.
Okay, we're going to...
So while Ernie pulls his 4 simple bolts, I'm gonna start working on the transmission and get that dropped.
You
So
gotta pull the yoke out. You gotta go from there.
we'll have Brandon start the timer.
Yeah.
We'll start the timer as soon as he gets his part of the
Yeah.
transmission done.
I could use up all your time.
Here, we don't need to get immersed again.
Oh, I gotta put my gloves on. We're operating at 2. I'm getting prepped. Okay. Socket doesn't want to go on that end. I'll loosen them all up first. Now we're talking turkey. Oh yeah. You better start getting ready, Hillbilly. I'll get you a little sippy cup because you can't be taking time off for hydrating or anything.
Hey Ernie, found you a little partner.
I need a good helper besides you.
His name's Ernie Jr.
All right, I got the bolts out, so we're gonna pop this. There we go. I'm done. How do you set the stopwatch on this thing? This is transmission.
It's part of the rear end because it bolts to the rear end. It just slips in.
I ain't doing your work for you.
I gotta do it because he doesn't know how to.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, you cheater! That was too. I could have done that. How much time we got left?
He's down 20 seconds already.
Okay, so we're going to get the rear end pulled out here. And what I usually do, kind of a little trick, is a lot of guys start on the bottom bolts and it loosens up, then it starts leaking immediately and it leaks the whole time you're trying to get the top bolts out. If I take the top bolts out, work my way down, then hopefully it doesn't leak all over the floor as much. How's that for a little old guy schooling? Yeah.
The exhaust, I have one bolt left, which it's almost out, and then this exhaust pipe on this side of the car, because it's true dual, will be done. So I had to drop the exhaust pipe on one side to remove this tranny cross member, to drop the transmission to redo the clutch.
Two tires expertly removed. Okay, now we're going to take the hub off so we can get the axle pulled out so we can take the third member out. Just a little friendly persuasion here. You look right inside here, see bolts back in there, take those bolts out, you turn your axle around, you can get a socket in there on the bolt, pull them out, and then you can pull the axles out. And I'm just screwing around while Hillbilly's all sweating up over there. Yeah!
I sweat in anything above 60 degrees. Just unhooking the speedo cable. We don't want that hanging up and breaking that. We need our speedometer.
Been an hour and 29 minutes.
No, it has not. Half hour.
I got the timer right here. We can look.
Not bad, Hillbilly. So what's it taking you, about an hour so far?
Half hour.
No way. How long's it been, Brandon?
Oh, let's look. About 30 minutes. Look, you can even see it.
33 minutes. Not bad. All right, so that gives you 30 minutes to change this, 30 minutes to install it.
Yep.
Heck yeah, good job.
And what we're going to do is get these shoes pulled off. There's this little clamp. See the little rod goes all the way through the backside? So we have to push this in. It's spring loaded, turn it 90 degrees so it pops out. That releases that one. We don't have official brake tools, so we got to do it the old school difficult way. There we go. Expertly taken off.
So we got a new flywheel, we got a new clutch and pressure plate, throwout bearing, and bushing. Hillbilly's gonna be getting that all off. We're gonna be putting it all in brand new, so we don't have any issues on the drive.
Okay, so I'm on my last bolt to drop the old pressure plate and clutch plate out, so that way I can access the flywheel bolts. Actually looks fairly new.
It actually does. Not wanting to break loose. So I'm gonna use some penetrating oil, let it soak in here, and then I'll hit it. And I don't care much if I break it or destroy it or anything like that, because we're putting a disc brake kit on it. That actually came right off. Whatever that penetrating oil was, it worked really good.
Drums off, emergency brake. So the axle's ready to peel out of this baby. One axle expertly removed. I'm gonna have to get new gloves.
Okay, so I got one more bolt and the flywheel is out. I got that one bolt out. I'm gonna drop this out and put the new one in. Look at the difference.
A bunch of bolts on the backside. So I'll take all those off, bring the shaft out, then we'll get the third member dropped out of it, clean it all up. New third member will go in.
So we ran into a little problem. It's gonna take a little longer than an hour and a half to do this tranny, like I said, because someone ordered the wrong clutch kit, so now we have to backtrack and figure out how to fix the old one. It's gonna take a little longer now. Hey Robbie, have you met George?
No, who's George?
Meet George. It was Ernie's buddy, so Ernie had someone to talk to.
Ah! Let's quit playing around. Got him! Ugh, oil. Icky. We're getting there. All right, so next we're gonna take the brake line out of the wheel cylinder, get this backing plate off of both sides, and then the e-brake cable will pop right out, pop the third member out, then we'll get the backing plates off, then we'll clean everything, and it'll be time to put it all back together.
Fairly clean looking rear end fluid.
Where's Hillbilly's big monkey strength?
Are you taking it out or am I taking it out?
Well, I'm just helping you. I wanna look like I'm doing something. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanna get the bulk of all the oil and grease and grime out.
We're borrowing somebody else's shop. We don't want to make a mess of it.
No, we want to make sure this stays clean while we're working. We get the backing plate pulled, got our e-brake cable all disconnected. Now we can get this all cleaned up, get our bearing area cleaned up, our brake line. We're able to break that loose. Didn't even ruin it. All right, side number 2, done.
No. Stop, you're done. No, that's too much.
Hey, since we're in Kansas, now you can be the Tin Man with all this anti-seize.
His whole shop's gonna be gray.
Literally, every time we bust that out, it gets everywhere.
Have you never had that?
Yeah. Does any of you use anti-seize and you wear it for like a week and everywhere you've been that whole day, it's there for a month?
You won't get stuck to anything where you're at.
It anti-seizes the entire shop as soon as you open the package. So Ryan actually suggested for me to call Quick Performance, so I did. I told them that we need a 489 case for a Chrysler 8 3/4 and a 69 Dodge Charger. They built us a rear end third member assembly with a posi track and 323 gears. So we went with 323s because we're driving this thing across the country and we want to do 160 miles an hour. The gears that were in it, they would have been 8,000 RPM going 60 miles an hour the entire way. So the lower the number, the higher the gear ratio. So we went with a higher gear ratio for highway speeds. It just makes sense for what we're doing. I want to say thanks to Quick Performance because when I called up there, they were super friendly. They got us what we needed and they guaranteed it by the time we were out here. And look at this, it's here. Do you actually have the pin in this time?
Yeah, what made me realize that it wasn't all the way in is it slid out way too easy. There was no tension on it. And usually when you do them, there's a little bit of tension to where it doesn't just slide right out.
It's got my stamp of approval. All right, so I'm getting everything laid out. We've got our rear disc brake kit we're gonna put on. We got our new front disc brake kit we're gonna put on also. It's even got new front spindles and everything. We got new upper control arm. So this thing's gonna be riding awesome. Hopefully, I mean, that's the plan, but we'll see. Robert and Bill just got back from picking up our tires. So we actually decided to go with a 215, 70-15 on the front and a 255, 75-15 on the rear. It's gonna have some stance. I think it's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna get this third member put in. Look at that. Hillbilly's not the only one that's strong here.
Dick and Monkey Man.
Ernie is also strong. Ernie even cleaned every single nut. He's so good. He's so wonderful. So eventually, once we restore this for one of you viewers, we'll take this all apart. We'll Cerakote it up all nice. We'll clean up the rear end, paint that. It's gonna be way sweet.
You want to see her new shoes?
The
Center cap. I think these will look real good on this car.
All right, we're finaling up on the bolts here.
We only tighten it to 2 Ugga-Duggas.
Oh, I want an Ugga-Dugga and a half. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Got the clutch in, pressure plate, flywheel.
3.5 hours later.
Because someone didn't get the parts. So now I'm going to reinstall the transmission.
I had to get here and help Hillbilly.
Now you see why I kept that out of the transmission, didn't you?
You brought that with you?
That's in one of the extra 4-speeds. Not right there. Okay. Got her?
There's the anti-oil
That's an
leaker.
anti-oil leak device.
Where'd you get that thing?
Out the back of the other little spare 4-speed.
Good thing you brought that in the other transmission.
I never throw away Mopar's parts.
Now I think it's just the pilot.
Let's put bolts in, use bolts to suck it in closer.
Oh yeah, you're there.
So I've got all the bracketry on for the disc brakes. The axle shaft's all bolted up tight. Okay, the disc is where it needs to be. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple of lug nuts on just so that it holds it in place. Get that caliper bolted up, and then I've gotta do the other side. This is just temporary to hold the disc where it needs to be. Perfect. Next stop, caliper. All right, so me and Hillbilly are gonna get these tires all mounted up. We've got 4 brand new aluminum wheels. They're torque thrusts. They should look pretty good. We're gonna do the backs first, which we're running the 255s on the rear.
White wall out.
White wall out. We've got the disc brakes all done. We're gonna get these tires all mounted, get them ready to go on.
Voila.
Just like that, 3 more to go. Now that we've got the rear end all finished, driveline back in it, took Hillbilly 4.5 hours to do that tranny. It's an 1.5-hour job. We're gonna drop the tank out and put all brand new fuel lines in.
Now explain to him why it took me so long.
Doesn't matter, shouldn't be so cocky. I ordered up a clutch for a factory 440. It was about 2 inches too small. So they're about 1.5 inches littler. We found out that Bill told us he upsized everything. So we ended up using the clutch plate, putting it back in. I think it'll get us to Utah, no problem. What do you think?
I hope it gets us there, no problem. I really don't feel like changing a clutch off the side of the road.
Yeah, but you know what? Even though you failed miserably, you did a great job.
It's in there.
We're gonna get these lines all taken out.
Rusty gas.
Rusty, crusty, disgusting gas. Oh, geez.
More good stuff.
So this tank actually has a hole in it. That's why we're changing it.
There's the hole.
Ugh. Okay, where do you want it?
Some weak spots in the floor. Yep. I have to do something about that, it looks like. Oh boy.
So we have been fighting this fuel tank. We finally have it in, sort of, almost.
2 inches?
Yep, about 2 inches. All right, so we finally got the tank back in it. Now we've got to do the fuel lines. We've got the new straps on and the rubber underneath them. Got the fuel filler neck installed with a brand new grommet that we were able to find at Napa. You don't even know how they had it in stock, but they did, so that's awesome. We're getting a ton of stuff done. I would say we probably have half of everything done in one day. This is working out awesome. Thanks to Ryan. You can't see him, he's busy working. We've got the transmission finished, clutch is in, we've got the drive shaft U-joints changed, we've got the third member changed out and installed, we've got the rear disc brake conversion, brand new tank, all brand new fuel lines, all the brake lines in the back are hooked up. Basically, everything from the tranny back is done. We're gonna go eat some dinner, and then we're gonna be right back tomorrow morning and get the front end all finished up. So it is tomorrow. Are we in central Kansas?
No.
Where are we at? It is another day here in eastern Kansas. Me and Ernie and Hillbilly, we got a lot of stuff to do today. Let's try to get this thing roadworthy. We're gonna leave the car kind of lower on the hoist today so that me and Hillbilly can do the brakes. We've got a radiator to change. We've got radiator hoses, distributor cap. We got tons of tune-up stuff, new carburetor, new brake booster. There's a lot of stuff we gotta do. Hopefully me and Hillbilly can get the brakes knocked out pretty quick where we can get this thing back on the ground, get it on its wheels, and then we'll help Ernie.
I'll be done by the time you guys are done messing around.
Sounds like a race.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Oh, hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, well,
That's
an hour and
the
a half
race.
today for Ernie. Okay, so we're gonna get to work. All right, so I ordered up this AFCO aftermarket aluminum radiator. It's super thick, but we need all the cooling we can get with this big 440.
That's a beauty.
That is gonna look awesome.
Okay, Ryan, give me the use of his skid steer so I can hang up the new power brake booster. I've done these before, and if you don't spray them with engine enamel, which is high heat, with clear coat, then they have a tendency to start rusting after 6 months, a year. So this way, it should stay for years and years and be nice and clean looking. So, gotta be very gentle with spray paint or you get it too thick and you get runs. So, this is kind of just basically a tack coat here. Master cylinders rust. Everybody knows that. You see I'm doing kind of a goofy pattern. That's because I'm working with the wind here. Ooh, that hose is toast.
Let's take that off and at least size it up because we were able to find hoses, but who knows if they're right.
Make sure it's right. She's all cracking up. I'm trying to get her to break.
You know what I love? How cars are always female. They're always her.
I didn't even know I said it.
She's a good old girl.
I just call it old girl. I never put a name to it. Just old girl.
Hey, that brings up a good point. I think we're gonna have to name this Charger. So what do you guys think?
Oh, wow.
What kind of name should we name her?
We can't do Betsy because everyone names their vehicles Betsy.
Betty Sue. Betty Sue. Southern girl. Boom. There we go.
I think one of you viewers can come up with an awesome name, so just let us know in the comments. So I've got everything deciphered for left and right. Hillbilly's already gotten his right side over there. I've got the driver's side, which is left. I'm gonna be figuring it out and getting all these disc brakes put on. All right, so we have a situation. Ryan needs to double up a demolition derby tire. So I bet Hillbilly $5 that he can't stuff this tire inside the other one. I know. Pretty much all I'm hoping is that the block doesn't have a crack, so when we put the new radiator in, we can put some stop leak in it and get this thing to seal and cool down. If it'll hold coolant, we'll drive it. I mean, we're driving it no matter what.
There we go. One radiator expertly removed.
Now, do you think the alternator charges? That's one thing we didn't check.
It should.
Lift your finger. Yeah, it works.
Perfect. Let's do the fuel line while we're here. I'll make a new fuel line from the pump up.
Okay.
And we didn't change the fuel pump because we couldn't find one anywhere locally, but it is pumping fuel. So worst case scenario, we put the fuel filter before the pump. Normally you want to put your fuel filter after the pump, but we'll leave rubber. That way if we have to hardwire an electric pump in, we have space to do it. All right, so if you are new to the channel, this guy's name is Bill. He is the prior owner of the 69 Charger. So he actually came up to help us work on it. We literally need all the help we can get to make sure this thing gets on the road by Tuesday. Need a hand there, Bill?
No. You got it?
Oh yeah. We've got $5 to earn.
$5 is $5.
How come you sweating?
Hey, Hillbilly.
It's only hot.
Hillbilly. Would you like to just stop this one on the wheel?
Used machine.
Okay, Robby, where's the $5?
20 minutes after Ryan did it.
All by hand.
So I'm trying to get the spindle nut off. The grease is pretty old and dirty. It's a good thing we're changing all this because these bearings are probably really packed and dried out. Oh, here comes the grease. We needed to pull that off so I could get to this nut right there.
Okay, we got our master brake cylinder all clear coated up. That takes care of that rust problem for years and years. Like I said, the first one I ever did started rusting immediately. So ever since then, I clear coat them from start to finish. That just saves you a lot of headache.
Oh, I've got the cam bolts out. We'll get the separate control arm out of the way. This is actually in really good shape, but it does have a torn boot on the ball joint. So we're gonna save this for my other cars. We're not gonna get rid of anything. We're taking it all back with us. Ernie's wire wheeling the cam bolts up top. So when we put them back in, they go on really nice. So when we adjust this to align it, everything moves good. But we've got this brand new factory replacement, so it'll go right in like it's supposed to. And this thing is gonna ride awesome when we're driving it. So I've got the upper control arm all in, the new spindle, the dust shield, and I've got our tie rod hooked back up. We even got our brake line on. Now I need to go pack some bearings, get my rotor put on, get the preload set on the bearings, and then we'll get the caliper on, and this side will be done. We didn't quite get this thing running before Bill and Robert need to take off. With Bill's cancer, even sitting in the shade, just these lights is taking a toll on his skin, so they're gonna take off and head home, unfortunately, but we're gonna get this thing to run and drive so that you can come out and enjoy it with us. And we appreciate you guys coming up. So
I feel it's in good hands.
well, watch our videos. You'll be able to see it.
Oh yeah,
Well, as far as we get it, I guess.
progress as it goes on.
Cool, well, they're gonna hit the road and we're gonna continue on working.
Okay, we're gonna set the points for you guys who don't know what points are, right, Hillbilly?
You obviously don't either.
Is that your speak?
You obviously
These
don't
are
either.
points right here. That's what fires your motor. That opens and closes. See
It
that
does not
gap?
fire your motor. It excites the coil to fire the motor.
Which sparks the plugs, which fires the motor. Each one of these lobes, it raises up as the motor goes over, it hits that lobe and it opens up. And when it opens up, it fires. Hits the flat, it's closed. So to set it, we have to put that in there, grab our points. Beep. There we go.
It's not on the lobe. It's on the flat.
Okay, turn the motor half as much as you did before.
See, that's way more than 17. See, what would you do without me?
Enjoy life.
Mess stuff up, obviously.
Now, rotor, it only goes on one way. There's an indent in there. Put it on that way, it won't go on. Let's just spin, boom, drop down into place. Now she's locked, distributor thing's moving and the point gap opening and closing. Fire comes right through there, into your spark plugs. You got juice, gas. And we're lucky this one's got a number 1 marked on it. So it tells us exactly where to go. Get her in place.
You're crooked. Way crooked.
There she goes.
No, you had it way backwards. Turn it completely around. There you go.
So we're gonna get the valve covers off. We're gonna switch out the gaskets and the valve covers themselves. Then we gotta put a carburetor on, a radiator, belts, hoses, spark plug wires, pretty much everything. It may not be running today. Finally got the Edelbrock AVS2 carburetor installed. Ernie's gonna get it all tightened up. We've got us a new air cleaner, so this thing will be breathing right. We've got valve cover issues. We're trying to work that out. Hillbilly's cleaned up like 10 sets so far. We found a crack in one. PCV valve hole was cracked in the other one. PCV valve was cracked in the third one. We finally have 2. We've got to wait until tomorrow to get a PCV grommet and a breather grommet. Getting this all wrapped up, we're gonna put the valve covers on just so that it doesn't get anything in the motor, and then we're gonna put the brake booster on, the master cylinder, try to get the brakes worked out. Then we gotta build wires, and our expert Ryan is gonna build those wires. He let us know how good he is at it.
The first mistake,
Yeah,
don't say how good you are.
exactly. That's why you don't talk.
Confidence is key.
And we're thinking like one more day, and this thing's gonna be roadworthy to travel 1,115 miles across the country. Why are you giggling?
We're taking bets on where it breaks down at. Mile marker.
Where do you guys think it's gonna break down? Anywhere between here and Ephraim, Utah. You can Google that and see the distance. Put your prediction and we'll let you know if you're right. We're gonna update everybody on our Instagram, kind of give you a heads up where we're gonna be, what we're doing, that type of stuff. That way if we do get into trouble, maybe one of you awesome viewers could come and help us. Actually, I just hope we don't break down.
We're gonna get these tires on the front so we can check the steering and make sure everything clears.
That is beautiful.
You got that one on backwards, Ernie.
No, it's upside down. Here, let the old man go pick up the guns, bend over with his old broken up back. Don't worry about me, buddy.
Whoa! You couldn't switch the right direction for me? Okay, we'll get the other side put on and show you guys what the front end looks like. Robby ran into town to get groceries. Left me and Ernie here by ourselves. Me and Ernie got done what Robby wanted done. Ernie's gonna go drop a pole in the water and relax.
We just got back. I'm gonna get the back wheels on and then we're gonna try to get this car rolled out so we can take a look at what it looks like. Did you see this, Hillbilly? The wrong bolt pattern.
No. It looks like you got it from the same place you got the clutch from. The wrong place.
Yes, you're such a jerk.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious. All right, well, I bought 2 wheels from one place and 2 wheels from the other place. They're both the same part numbers. This one is wrong. Let's check the other one. Oh yeah, same thing. Okay, so we have 2 wrong wheels. Good thing it's Sunday. So tomorrow, we're gonna be trying to do some scrambling to find 2 more 15-inch wheels. Hey, look. Not everything can go perfect. Maybe we'll run down to a wrecking yard, see if we can find some steel wheels. I don't know, but that pretty well puts us at a standstill.
It ain't going very good without any wheels on the rear.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're driving without tires and wheels. All right, so this is the joys of working in a demolition derby shop. Ryan had a multi-center derby wheel that we're gonna put on the rear of this because we're gonna push this car out a little bit so we can try to change the brake master cylinder because we can't get into the driver's side.
Robby, here's our 15-inch wheels we need.
So all we want to do is go out enough that we can open the doors. We moved it off the hoist so that we can get the master cylinder and everything. I tried to come from the other side without coming through the door, and I could not get up underneath the steering wheel enough to get the bolts out. So we moved it. We're getting fuel lines built. We're gonna need to get another fuel filter. We're gonna put a fuel filter in between the carburetor and the fuel pump. That way we have double protection. Now I've got this line all built how I want it.
Got him.
I think he wants some loving.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, we got an AFCO radiator. I got my main man here.
That's not true. You told me I was the main man.
I got
Who is it, Ernie?
my secondary main
hold this
man.
yourself then.
The Billy Hill. We got to drill holes so it will fit into our Dodge Charger precisely. And we will be cool.
Make sure it's center in the bracket.
That looks center to you? You got your center on your way?
Right there.
Good to me, good to you. Okay, let's expertly install that.
One radiator expertly installed.
This is going to make the trip across the desert cool. Cool.
So this brake booster is not correct. It's supposed to be the replacement. You got to re-drill holes and it just is going to be a pain in the butt. This is different. Everything's just different. So we've cracked open this brake booster. Our rubber seal is still all intact. So we feel like it's going to work. We're going to take everything off, clean it all out real good. You can see this thing had some standing water in it at one time. Has a water line. So we're going to wire wheel everything, just really clean it up, put it all back together. And we're going to put the master cylinder on that because this master cylinder, what do you know? Lines right up. It's gonna work.
Thank heavens they knew what they were doing in the olden days. Modern cars, you can't rebuild these like you can the older ones.
This is what actually pushes the brakes in and out. This diaphragm vacuum sucks it and it assists the brake. We're just making sure it's all cleaned up really good. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. So after a long day working on this, having super amounts of issues, Ryan barbecued us some steak. So we're gonna take a minute, we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna get back to working.
Them are huge. I know. We are talking Kansas steak right there. This is Kansas beef.
You want 2 or 1, Hillbilly? 2 probably?
Raining outside, it's loud, you can hear it. This is called bench bleeding, so we've got it up in the vise. Ryan's holding the hoses. Ernie is pushing the plunger with the screwdriver to get us it's acting as the brake pedal, getting all the air out of the master cylinder so that when we put it in, it'll actually bleed. Otherwise, it's a pain. That rain is getting really loud.
Wow, it's raining now.
Raining cats and dogs. No. I think this is gonna work. Cleaning this up, checking all the rubber seals. I think that's our ticket. Put this master cylinder put on, and we'll get it back in the car. Then we'll be just about ready to bleed the brakes. So one major milestone, but like 20 more to go. Hillbilly's on the inside. He's gonna guide the rod in. Are you ready?
Now tighten up the nuts. Smells like it's been sitting for 15 years in here. Mice.
All right, so it's the end of another day. We've gotten a ton of stuff accomplished. We still have a lot of hurdles to jump. We've got to figure out a wheel situation because without wheels, this thing isn't rolling down the road. Tomorrow is Monday. We're gonna be calling every single place we can think of, trying to find 2 more wheels to match. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, as always, we appreciate you guys. And if you enjoyed this, go check out this video.
I was slow.